So I'm gonna start off priming my eyelids, and I'm gonna use the Born This Way multi-use concealer. This is in the color Chestnut. I don't use it all the time, but I use it a lot. So I'm just priming my lid, getting ready for the eyeshadow. But since the new year has come around, I guess I have to recap by 2018. So 2018 for me was rough. I think it was rough for everyone, to be honest. I think there's just a lot of things going on in general. But for me, I think the two major things that happened for me this year is I got out of the Army. I served 5 years, did my obligation, and I decided to get out because I never intended on making a career out of the Army. And so I wanted to go back to school, and just based on the schedule and the demands of the Army, I didn't think that I could go to school full-time as well. The palette that I'm going to be using today is the Warrior 2 by Juvia's Place. Tis the palette, and the first color that I'm going to go in with as my transition color, it'll probably be a combination of this orange and this like burnt orange, and this is Zama and Jamata. Girl, I don't know, but anyway, so yeah. And then we moved, and so yeah, so a lot of things happened. A lot of things changed. And so yeah, so going into this year, as far as school is concerned, my goals, so if I don't get into any of the PhD programs that I applied to, that's okay. I'm not gonna quit. I'm just gonna start my master's. For example, I applied December 2018, so that means I wouldn't even start till fall 2019 of this year. So it's not like master's where, you know, they may have classes beginning and accepting students in the fall, in the spring, or in the summer. But it's kind of like if I have to wait until, you know, the end of this year to reapply, like I wouldn't start a PhD program again until next year. So I'm just like, I might as well go ahead and start my master's, get some of the classes out of the way, and hopefully probably be done. And then of course with that route, you know, I could get licensed and actually start working sooner than later, and, you know, get to know the field a little bit more and see if the PhD is what I want, as far as what I'm doing on a day-to-day basis. So now I'm going in with that darker color Jamata with the same brush. And I'm packing this color more so in the crease versus the first color, which I was using as my transition color. As far as spiritually, I am a Christian, and so every year I set a new goal. And so my goal for 2018 was to not leave God when hard things come up. So basically to not leave him during the storm. And so I didn't leave him during the storm this year, so that's great. Because I think the more mature you, the more your journey or relationship with God matures, and the more you mature and grow and experience life, I think you come to realize that, like, there are always going to be challenges. Like, they're inevitable. There will always be adversity. There will always just be something, whether it's work, whether it's home, whether it's friendships. Something is always changing, and, you know, you have to adjust accordingly. But also spiritually, I feel like there are always tests, and either you fail the test and you have to like retake the test, or you advance to the next level. And it's so true that the closer and closer you are to God, the more the devil and or people and your job and work, whatever it is, the more and more you have challenges, and you're like, dang, like I just passed this test, like can I get a break? But it's like, no, like you need to advance to the next level. And so something for me that I've learned is that if I feel like God or the spirit pulling on me, then I need to listen to it, because if I don't, I'm making it even harder on myself. And now that I'm married, you know, those decisions don't only affect me anymore, they affect someone else. So I'm not saying that I'm reckless, but I'm just saying, like, in general, you know, things just affect you differently when, like, it's just not you in the picture. So next I'm going in with uh, Bruh. Kufuru. I have no idea. Um, yeah, I probably should have Googled how to say these names before I cut this video on. But anyway, I'm just packing this on my lid a little bit. And I'm gonna go in with a darker brown. So you have to be cognizant and more responsible of that. Like for example, when you're married, you need to pray for your spouse. And I was doing that at first, but then you know when challenges come, like I was just like, oh, I need to pray for myself. Like I need help, you know, like I'm struggling. So it's almost like, I don't know if that's selfish or not. But y'all know how it is. You're like, I need to help myself. And having to just die to your flesh every day, and I'm still not a pro at it, but it's definitely easier said than done. And I've realized that what I used to do doesn't work anymore. So that means I need to do more, right? So that means that maybe I need to spend more time with God daily, or maybe I'm talking to him more than once on a daily basis, and maybe I'm talking to him more than just in the morning, or more than, you know, just at night when I go to bed. So this brown, I'm just dragging it out. I'm gonna deepen up the crease some more, but I'm just dragging it out. And y'all, I didn't mean to use the same brush, but I can't talk and do all of this, so I'll probably change the brushes when I go in with a deeper color. But anyway, this is the Morphe M504 brush. That's what I've been struggling with as far as my walk with God. And so don't get me wrong, it's been a hard, tough journey. But I haven't left him, and so I'm proud of myself that I haven't left him. And so now what I've started and what I'm working on, because I did start watching sermons like every day, Pastor Furtick. And then I like caught up. I think I had watched all his sermons from like 2017, and then I caught up to like present day. And then so basically I was just like waiting for the service that happened on Sundays. And basically I'm spoiled. But anyway, we go to Bible study on Wednesdays, and for the most part go to church every Sunday. And so do what works for you, do what works for your family as far as spiritual wise. But I probably journaled the most this year. I've journaled for years, mostly when like I'm really, really struggling, but I guess you could say I really, really struggled in 2018 as well. But I journaled so much in 2018 that like my little journal is like almost completely full. Which is good. That means I've been thinking a lot. That means I've been putting it all on paper and not lashing out at people. Well, I have, don't get me wrong. Well, I haven't lashed out at people. I've gotten to a point where I can say what I need to say in a professional and mature way without letting my emotions get in the way. I'll have to say I learned that from the Army, being professional and having to deal with officers who outrank you and all of that. Like, you can still find a way to be tactful and communicate. And so definitely do that. It's a process. There's nothing easy about it. This mirror that I'm holding is a Milani Pure Passions palette. So I'm actually going to go in with this brown right here and add that on my lid as well. In my journal, I write my thoughts, my feelings, my emotions, you know, why I responded a certain way in the situation, why something triggered me, like why I felt that way or felt, you know, what emotions from my past made me feel that way presently, right? I like to think that I'm very self-aware and I'm always constantly trying to analyze myself and unfortunately analyzing the others around me, when maybe I should be focusing on myself. But nonetheless, like I do take a lot of time and spend a lot of time focusing on myself as well. Now I'm just about to clean up the excess. I'm just using a Q-tip. But yeah, and so that has helped me as I've journeyed into this new year. It's helped me a lot. I've been able to clear my head even more. And y'all know, when your head's not clear, you're emotional and you're just not thinking straight. And probably not thinking rationally either. I like to make rational decisions and I like to act in a way that my future self will be proud of. So for example, if I have to confront someone and like I just don't want to do it, like I'd rather avoid it, I always say, like, what would your future self want you to do when you look back at this moment? What would you have wished you'd done? And so I know myself, and I know that looking back, I would have wished that I, you know, spoke up. And so that's what I do on a regular basis. So now I'm actually changing brushes and I'm going in with this Morphe 532 brush. So, and I'm just going to go back into my initial colors, which were from this Juvia's Place palette, which is this color and this color. So I'm just going to dab back and forth and bring my transition color back out a little bit more. And I'm going just a little higher, definitely higher than I usually go. But anyway, so yeah, so it's just helped me clear my head, and I've been working on forgiveness. Forgiveness has always just been so challenging to me. Like, even if it's something small, like I'm like, nah. Like, no, you grown, you made that decision, so like you knew what you were doing. Like, that's how I think. But as I get older and I'm trying to, you know, walk more like God, I'm just like, you know what? Like, who am I to hold on to the grace that God gives me on a daily that I don't deserve, right? And I don't think it's so much trying to punish someone, but I think it's just literally like, I don't know how to forgive. You know, like, how do you get over something? Like, how do you keep moving? And I know forgiveness is definitely more so for me, right? Like, quote unquote, the victim, if that's what you want to say, you know, and not so much for the aggressor, but it really is to release yourself. And it's just like, you know what? I want to be free. Like, I don't want to live in this hurt and this bitter and this pain. You know, like I want to be good. Like, like I want to wake up and not think about it. You know, like I want to live my life. Like I want to live my best life at that, you know, and I think you miss out on a lot holding things against people. And so that's what I am working on. And it's helping, but you have to be consistent. Like, nothing is a quick fix and nothing, you know, happens overnight. So definitely do what works for you and get out of your comfort zone. If something's not working and it used to, and that's in general, not even with your prayer life or, you know, with being in relation with God. Like, that's in general. If something's not working, like, change you, right? Because you're the only person who can, you know, like you're the only person who can change it, if it's within your control, right? So something that I have wasted time on this year is worrying about other people and not living by the prayer of serenity. But yeah, so I've focused too much on other people and what they have done, and you know, like, there's just no way to live. Like, focus on yourself. You can't control nobody. And that's about it, you know. Control what you can. Don't stress about what you can't. And keep it moving. But yeah, so I'm going to continue to journal I'll continue to listen to my sermons. I'll continue to listen to gospel music. I've recently just gotten into Hillsong and like Christian praise. Cause I grew up in a like deep Southern Baptist church, and so you know, like I love some good gospel. There is nothing like gospel, but since we moved, we're attending a different church, and so that's more along the lines of praise and worship at that church. And you know, like I want to sing along. Like I don't want to be in there not knowing the words. Like I like to sing along. And so I had to find like what songs they were singing, and it turns out to be like Hillsong praise and worship. And so I just listened to that on YouTube. Sometimes I listen to it on Spotify, but mostly I listen to it on YouTube. But yeah, so I find that Christian music keeps me afloat. Because at the end of the day, like, we all die by ourselves. And so I try to be the best version of myself on a daily basis. And there's nothing like somebody telling you something about yourself, right? So that's why you need to be self-aware and know yourself. And that'll keep you from experiencing a whole bunch of pain that you didn't have to. But yeah, I'm also, so basically that's what I'm on. I'm on like a God love journey. I was on a self-love journey like a few years ago. Like it never hurts to revisit something. But right now I'm on a God love journey and trying to explore deeper God's love for me, because I think a lot of times, you know, especially when you grow up in church, like you just like, well, I know God loves me. Like I know what this Bible verse says, right? I know what I'm supposed to believe, so that's what I believe. But it's like, well, you know, how helpful is that to you, you know, if you're still living off of something that, you know, you were brought up on, which nothing is wrong with that, of course. Because my upbringing is, you know, was my foundation in God. Yeah. But yeah, so I'm just trying to figure out like, okay, well, I know you love me, and I know you've got me out of some situations. Like, I know that you have shown me grace. I'm very grateful, you know, but I'm just trying to go a little bit further, a little bit deeper, you know, so when more problems arise, I don't question him. Because I think in the past, when I would go through something troubling or hard, I would question God. I would ask him why, like, why you let this happen to me. But I think that's a misconception as far as religion goes. Is like, hey, like, just because you're a child of God, it does not, you know, you being baptized, you going to church, you reading the Bible, like that does not keep you from adversity, right? It's based on how you respond to that adversity and to those challenges. Like, trust me, you are not free from trouble. If anything, you have more challenges, and the devil is more busy. And don't get me wrong, everything ain't the devil. Like, let's get that clear. Some stuff and a lot of stuff are just people, right? Human beings being human. That doesn't mean that you have to excuse anyone's behavior, right? But I think it's important for us to set boundaries, so you don't keep finding yourself in the same situation. And I think a lot of times the people around us and what's happening in the world around us, it gets us distracted from ourselves and from our relationship with God. And when I tell this to y'all, like, I'm basically the pot calling the kettle black. Like, I'm preaching to myself as well. Preaching to myself. But anyway, I just used some Airspun powder to set my under eye. So I used to be a perfectionist until I went to college and realized that you just got to take what you get. Do your best and get that C, honey. Get that C and get that freaking degree, diploma, whatever you need to get. But yeah, I used to be a perfectionist, and I'm still somewhat a perfectionist, but I'm also realistic in knowing that, like, sometimes being a perfectionist turns into procrastination. Have you ever experienced that? Like if you're a go-getter, you're striving high, you know, trying to reach the stars and stuff. And then all of a sudden you turn around and you're like, dang, like I haven't done something, or I haven't completed it because I'm too busy trying to perfect it. But yeah, so that's me. But I'm trying to let that evil go and just roll with the punches, because the first step is always the hardest. And so if something's not perfect the first time, that's why it took me so long to start a YouTube channel and to even publish. I've been practicing videos and editing since October. Uh, and I felt like I couldn't edit or publish if something didn't look this way, or if I didn't have this or I didn't have that. And you know, it's just like da. Like, there's one thing to like not want to put out crappy content, you know, and anything your name is attached to, like you want it to be top notch. And that's how I was in the army as well. I'm like, if my name on this, no, it needs to be, you know, like it needs to be perfect. Like, I don't want any space or any room for anyone to be able to find a loophole and say I didn't do something or whatever. But y'all know how that goes. That's just covering your behind. So anyway, I'm going in with this Bobbi Brown foundation. It is the Skin Longwear Weightless with SPF 15. It's oil-free, shine control, full cover. And I'm in the color Golden Almond. I think I bought this last summer when it launched, maybe. I don't think I bought it when it first came out. But I haven't used it in a while, and I liked it. I remember liking it, but I think I remember it creasing as well, like in my smile lines. I've grown to realize that something is better than nothing, and you can always improve. You have to start somewhere, and you don't always have to start at, like, it's unrealistic to think that you will always start out on the top, right? Like, so I think it's just like giving yourself some space to grow, some space to breathe, and you know, some space to just and not be stressed out all the time, and to, you know, not have too many projects going on at once because you can't finish one of them because you're trying to perfect it, and then all of your attention goes to that, then you get no work done on something else, and it's just an endless cycle. So to all the perfectionists out there, we see you, but don't let procrastination get the best of you. Find a balance. Other than that, for the new year, I need to lose about 20 pounds. I have gained some weight, and so I need to lose that. The ways I plan about going to attack that: working out, not eating after 7, consuming more water, and getting more sleep. And that's about it, honestly. That's about it. Yeah, probably eating less fried foods. I don't really have to worry about sodas or sweet drinks. I usually just drink water and Gatorade. But the times that hurt you are when you like get off track. Those are the times that hurt you, when you get off track and you're eating fast food, or you're eating out a lot, or you're traveling. That's when you get off track. And so, yeah, so I'm going to try to stay on track for the most part. So I'm about to contour and hopefully snatch my face inward. So I think that's about it. So I'm going for full glam, and so we're trying to take it up a notch. Next, I'm going in with this Anastasia Beverly Hills Amrezy Highlighter. So I'm going in with my Fenty eyeliner. As I wrap up my face, that's about all that I have to say. about me going into the new year. I also want to travel more, but y'all let me know what y'all have planned for the new year and how y'all are trying to better yourselves. And then next I'll be going in with this Sephora liquid lipstick, and this is in number 26. So I'm just gonna go over the lip liner and fill in my lips. Y'all, I almost forgot the most important part, which is mascara. So I'm going in with this Bad Girl Bang mascara from Benefit. I'm going in with these lashes. We're gonna see how they work because I'm so bad at putting lashes on, y'all. Anyway. Ooh, I did it. Ow. Anyway, so clearly I'm done with the video now. But yeah, thank you all for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye.